As we set up shop here, Mr. Barber, what's going on?
All's
How you
good.
doing today?
Yeah, I'm jealous.
About?
I'm jealous of Max Scherzer.
My blossoming bumper sticker business?
That too. What did
You
I just
see
say?
it, I say it. Wait, what you see, I see. And what I see, I say.
Well, see, now it sounds calmed and perfectly articulated.
Yep.
Yesterday it was like, what the
I
hell
just
did-
made it up
what the
yesterday.
hell
I
did you just
didn't
say?
really know what I was saying.
I know it.
Yesterday was a really fun day. Now, listen, the Mets are rolling, and I already got bamboozled with the tweets last night. You got to start with the Mets. Well, we're not. We're not because Garrett Cole, wow. Garrett Cole, tiki.
I think Garrett Cole is going to be fine, BT.
Okay.
Now, there's a couple of things that worry me. One is that in the second inning, when he was bearing down, trying to get out, Castro, trying to get out Castro. He had 2 strikes, it was 1 and 2. And I'm in your mind, you're like, this is the ace, right? All he's got to do is bear down and throw a great pitch. You got basically 4, you know what I mean, before 3 before you walk the guy. So just bear down and get him out. And he tried really, really hard, and he just couldn't do it, BT. And it made me think of a couple of things. You remember about, 6-7 years ago, we were on the national level, so we only talked about this tertiarily because CC was our friend.
Tertiarily.
Right?
You heard it just drop there, Hoff.
You like that?
Tertiarily.
Hoff is confused.
I don't know. He has no idea what it means. He can't even get the context.
I know. But you remember when we were talking about CC, and we were like, CC's got to learn how to pitch now.
Yes.
Right? Because the fastball was, it was like 92, 93.
His legs were betraying him, obviously.
He had the knee injury, et cetera. And we're like, he's got to learn how to pitch. And if he doesn't, his career is going to end. And he came back after, I think he had a surgery or some kind of procedure. And then he came back, and all of a sudden, he was throwing on the edges, didn't need that 97, 8-mile-an-hour fastball anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And he figured it out. Like, he figured out how to get guys out without having to bear down and I'm blowing you away. And so as I watch Garrett Cole, who is 32 years old, he's still got it. He's got to figure out how to not press so much and try just one way to get guys out, and he'll be fine. That's my takeaway from it, because I've seen it happen before. Now, CC's different than obviously Garrett Cole, but I've seen guys struggle like this before and find their way out of it, and I got to trust and believe that Garrett Cole is going to find his way out of this.
Let me tell you this, and this goes back to watching some ugly-ass Yankee teams. I mean, Alvaro Espinoza, Bob Guerin behind the plate, some of these dirt teams. Last night was the absolute ugliest, most disgusting win that I've ever seen the Yankees have.
It was a win, though.
No, but yeah, I guess. 13 more strikeouts. 13, all right? Gallo, this guy might be going by the way Chris Davis, all right? So Gallo's a huge issue. He whiffed 4 times,
Don't
dude.
even say that.
He might be. At least Davis still popped a few over the fence. Judge whiffed 3 times, Donaldson twice. I mean, the pop-up that the pitcher dropped and then the catcher dropped and 2 runs scored and then the spike ball, I don't even know what to call it, that went 15 feet, the worm burner that Gio's probably going to ricochet around the golf course with Boomer today. Good job by Booms, man of the people going to the Muni. Huh?
I love it.
Interesting.
Sometimes those are nicer.
I've never seen
easy.
Well, yeah, true. They are easier sometimes. I've never seen a pitch like that. The Yankees got gift after gift, and I'm sitting there saying, all right, fine. I even tweeted this. Finally, it's time to bludgeon somebody. You're already in the Tigers' bullpen, which means you would think this portends good things for Game 2 and Game 3. And the Yankees start bashing a few bombs, and they beat up on a bad Tigers team, and Garrett Cole stabilizes things, and they win. I'm thinking this early yesterday. They win, 9-2, and then you come back today, you smack them, you get the sweep, and, again, not that there weren't issues, even with a sweep, but it would have felt a little bit better. Instead, Garrett Cole can't put anybody away. Now, listen, the problem now with Garrett Cole, and I'm with you, Teague, well, first of all, if he doesn't pitch better, the Yankees season is over.
Let's get
that straight.
It's still cold. We still got Severino.
Wait a minute, Max Scherzer was freezing last night, and Max Scherzer almost threw a no-hitter.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't give me the weather.
That's a good point.
Nonsense. Don't want to hear about the weather. Max Scherzer, and we'll get Mets, I promise we're doing a lot of Mets today, obviously. Max Scherzer was dealing. The problem that I have with Garrett Cole, and, I could bore you with RPMs and chase rate, which was awful last night. I won't even waste my time on that. The problem with Garrett Cole, and I know that you're seeing what I'm seeing, he doesn't look comfortable all of a sudden as a New York Yankee.
You think it's because he's pressing?
I'm sure that's where it's derived from, but he's looking into space. He's pounding his glove. He's throwing like a little leaguer in between innings in front of the Yankee dugout. I did that when I was 8. I would grab my catcher. Hey, let's go to the chain link fence. We just scored 9 runs. I got to stay loose. Garrett Cole really looks as if. Let me measure this. Garrett Cole looks too often as if he doesn't want to be here. Right now, early sample this season.
The one thing I never got from Garrett Cole was that he wouldn't be big enough for the moment, right? I never thought that about him, and so
based on what?
Based on the success we saw.
You talking about with Houston?
Well, mostly with Houston.
Okay.
And when he was in Pittsburgh, I wasn't paying enough attention, right? But mostly in Houston.
And by the way, he was good in Pittsburgh. Not great.
Yeah,
he was good.
That's right. But I wasn't really paying attention to him. So my view of him is from Houston. And maybe that was because of the collective kind of greatness around him, both from the position players and from the rotation. Obviously, Verlander was there too. But I never felt like he was a guy that in a moment he's going to shrink to it. Or in a moment he's going to get caught up in the moment and lose, right? And lose whatever makes him great. And I'm starting to see that a little bit, and it's worrisome. But I also know that like who you are is based on what you've previously done. And Garrett Cole has to know that. Like he has to know that whatever struggles he went through in Pittsburgh, and even if they weren't glaring, some struggles he went through in Houston, he can draw on that to pull himself out of whatever is plaguing him at the beginning of this season. Because there's something plaguing him. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the pressure. Think about what we talked about all offseason, right? This Yankees rotation, it's all on Garrett Cole.
And he's the worst one.
You're right.
He's their fifth starter right now. Everybody's better than him.
We didn't know what Severino was going to look like. Nobody was expecting this from Nestor Cortez. From Nestor.
He was good last year. We didn't expect
it, right?
The immaculate frame. But I got you.
Montgomery, nobody expected it.
He's okay. He's okay. Montgomery's fine.
The one person
we
talked about, and we put all the pressure on, and you just said it 5 minutes ago, is Garrett Cole.
Because of the wild card performance. Not even because of the contract.
Yeah.
Because of that stench. And when you end the season, and I feel badly for him, because for 90% of the season, he was the best pitcher in the American League. And then the hamstring, the spider tech combination, but whatever. But Garrett Cole was largely sublime a year ago. And then he got bamboozled against the Yankees' biggest rival, and he had to sit on that all winter. And now he's coming out. Billy Crystal's fault. It's the weather's fault. It's just he
did not make an excuse
comfortable.
Yesterday. He did not make an excuse.
He didn't make an excuse, but he didn't look like he wanted to fight.
Well, but here's what I think.
I didn't see a guy battling.
But I did. You know what I appreciated yesterday from Garrett Cole, or at least from the post game conferences when he talked about this, is that he acknowledged that it was him. Like he wasn't saying, Billy Crystal's 4 minutes off. God, I can't hear from the pitch. The pitch comm. Oh, it's so loud. Like it was no excuse. He basically just said, yeah, I'm disappointed. And it was the first time this season, at least, that you've seen him take that finger that's pointing elsewhere and point it at himself, right? This is on me. And I think the first step towards correcting a problem is acknowledging that there's something wrong.
No question.
And so I think he's finally there.
Okay.
Now it's 2 starts in. It hasn't hurt him.
And you got Aaron Boone telling us post game he was raised right there.
Yeah, but I mean,
come on. He couldn't even put Castro away.
Fortunately, it hasn't.
Right there.
It hasn't hurt the Yankees. They haven't lost games that he's started yet.
No, but he's killing the bullpen, so it is hurting them.
Yeah, I mean,
residually, that's going to catch up.
That's a good point. But
Montgomery's not going to give you 7 innings. I mean, he's a 5 and fly guy.
Yeah.
Now, Severino's got great upside, and he's I can't wait to see him pitch again. But, man, oh, man, I know what you mean. The post-game, there was ownership taken, but I also am a firm subscriber to the belief that actions speak louder than words. And I'm watching him pitch last night, and I'm going back and forth. Yes, S&Y, S&Y, yes, S&Y, yeah, back to yes, back to S&Y. And I see Scherzer, a guy who knew, based on the doubleheader, knew he had to give the Mets length,
Yeah.
and almost throws a no-hitter. And the stark contrast in Detroit, same weather, by the way, if not slightly windier in Citi Field,
Yep.
at least very comparable. You know, a guy who
McNeil
also,
had he had issues catching balls out in left field. So
Oh, you're
definitely.
talking about McNeil?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there were definitely a couple. Yeah, there was one where there was still the no-no,
Yeah.
where it was like, for sure, it was kind of
So you're probably
trackety.
right. The weather might have been worse.
It may have been. And if not, it was a push. But Scherzer just put his head down, just tightened up his cap and said, let's go, let's deal. And I don't see, well, I guess the secondary stuff is certainly sharper right now than Garrett Cole's. But, I look at Scherzer and I just see him pacing the dugout, engaged, always moving, always ready. Just this great palpable energy. The fans in Queens feel it. And I see Garrett Cole, who, and it's okay to be this way when it's going well, more isolated, more cerebral, more calculating, but also much more detached from the team.
But he can't change his personality.
I understand that, but you
can't-
better put up zeros if you're going to be that guy.
Yeah, but he can't change his process, like what he goes through and how he goes about, getting himself ready for a game, and then how he processes anything, success or troubles in the middle of a game. He's got to be who he is. He can't all of a sudden just change to try to be different. Now, the thing is, over the weekend, we were talking about Nestor with his immaculate inning. Garrett Cole, I think, is a leader in this rotation and on this team. Right? He's right in the dugout. He's right standing on the top step. He's yelling at Higgy for giving the ball away. You know what I mean? So there.
I don't look at Cole as a leader.
But I think he is, though.
I don't see that. I'd have to disagree.
I just think he has a personality.
Garrett Cole?
No, hold on. That he has a personality that maybe rubs people the wrong way.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
right?
My bad for jumping on that. I would agree with that.
That rubs people the wrong way. So just visually.
Mm-hmm.
But that he actually is a leader for this team, and he's just
Based on what?
He's just going through something.
Based on what?
Based
Because
on,
I saw
based on history. Based on who he is. Like when you come in and
I don't see a leader. I see a guy who was great.
They throw
I don't see a leader.
They throw this money on you. Well, again, I'm just taking the optics from what happened over the weekend.
And by the way, Teak, he doesn't have to lead. Just pitch better.
Well,
that's how you flex leadership.
Isn't that leading?
It is. Listen, I started to say before that I've always subscribed to actions over words, right? And I know that he pointed the thumb at his chest last night, and that's a good starting point. And I do believe, I don't want to bury the lead, I still believe that Garrett Cole is going to deal. I thought he was going to deal last night. I'm not giving up on Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole, he's still hitting 98, 99. He still has some filthy stuff. He's going to have a 7, 8, 9, 10 start run where he is, without a doubt, in my opinion, one of the better pitchers in baseball for sure.
Yeah.
But last night, again, I see a guy who's looking down, like kicking the dirt, and when I see that, it's a nonverbal excuse.
Well,
it's the rubber, it's the slope on the decline on the mound, the weather, looking at his hands, pounding his fist. I don't like the body language.
BT, I think it could just,
and neither can the Yankees.
I think it could just be he's frustrated, he's disappointed, and maybe even embarrassed because he's supposed to be the guy, and he's not pitching like the guy right now.
877-337-6666. So the Yanks, they win, but boy, it feels like a loss, huh? Inside of our Town Fair Tire studio, that's where we're hanging out. As always, our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that you always get the guarantee lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Let's start. Peter is in Weston, Connecticut on the fan. Tiki and Tierney. Pete.
Hi there. I love you guys in this time slot.
Appreciate you, Peter.
Look at Pete bringing the heat. Pete.
I just quickly on Garrett Cole. I loved when the Yankees signed him. I'm just very disappointed in his, like you said, Brandon, his body language.
Yep.
It's like actions do speak in New York. I'm a New Yorker. I grew up in New York my whole life, only living in Connecticut the last 2 years. You got to bring it. When you're paid the money you're paid, you got to bring the heat. Get him a sports psychologist. I'm just joking about that.
No, I'm sure he's got one. I know the Yankees have a because they announced them all on opening day. There was like 9,000 of them. They definitely have access. You know
what I think might be missing though?
What's that?
In Houston, he had, oh my God.
Talking about Verlander?
Oh my God.
McCullers?
Yeah, he had Verlander. And he doesn't have that mentor or that person to lean on.
Yeah, but hold on,
Maybe
Pete. He's 32 years old. He's supposed to be the mentor.
That's right. That's why he was brought
I
here.
agree.
That's why the Yankees paid him all this money to be here, so he could be that guy.
Totally agree.
And maybe
Totally
maybe
agree
it's
with
an
you.
uncomfortable. Maybe it's just not. He's not used to it.
Well, then he shouldn't have signed up for it.
I mean, yeah, but how do you turn down the opportunity to
He
be
would've
the
got
ace
money
of the
elsewhere.
Yeah, but to be the ace for the Yankees.
Okay, well,
that's-
start acting like the ace.
I think he wants to
Totally
be.
agree with you guys.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Thanks
just-
for the call there, Pete. Appreciate it, dude. I didn't mean to
Yeah, I think he
let
really
your language
wants
just Tiki
to.
and I
think he
continue to
really
talk.
wants to be the guy. And
I know he does.
And he's finding trouble.
Listen, I want to make Francesa money. I'm not. We all want things that we're not getting.
Yeah, but he wants to be that guy, and he's just having trouble making it come easy. You know what I mean? And so
I think you're reaching, and
I'm not
by the way, I
reaching.
don't think that you're going to be wrong. I'm with you. I think he'll pitch better.
It's not
But
even about
I think you're
pitching
probing
better.
too deeply into the mental. The guy's just not pitching well.
Yeah, but it's also
Start there.
But it's also mental. It's also emotional.
Or
it's
is
also,
it a lack of RPMs? I mean, and I said this the other day, that extra 1/13 of an inch, instead of getting the barrel, you get the fists.
Mm-hmm.
I can't quantify it better than that, but the RPMs are down. Not incredibly,
Yeah.
but down enough where instead of squaring one up, it's a pop-up. You know, instead of ripping a double in the gap, it's two hopper to second base. And instead of fouling it off, it's a swing and a miss.
Yeah.
You know, and listen, his body language, it's not overtly evident. It's not like he's kicking dirt, even though I referenced looking down at the mound last night. He's not embarrassing himself, but the subtlety, he looks confused. And he doesn't look, God, I say this, man, I say this with great hesitation, because you don't get to that level without being a fierce competitor. And I'm not selling Cole yet. I'm going to ride with this guy for a while. But he looks, to me, too often, despondent. And that despondency now is translating, in my own mind, rightly or wrongly, a guy that is not as engaged or fighting his way out of this. And I know that he's trying to, but he's got to project differently. The body language stinks. It stinks. 877-337-6666.